Hunting antelope has become a real passion of mine through the years. A passion instilled in me by my father and our good friend George Deeroff. Those two are absolutely antelope fanatics, and I guess it's just rubbed off on me through the years to see that passion in them and to see how excited they get when they see a big buck. With every animal we hunt, it brings on a new challenge. With pronghorn antelope, the challenge isn't finding them, like it can be with elk or mule deer or many other species across the world. Heck, they'll stand out in the open all day long. You don't even need to get up at daylight if you don't want to. The challenge can be getting close enough in this wide open terrain. They know how to use it to their advantage, and they do it well. The other challenge can be judging the size of a buck. That in itself is tough. Wide bucks or bucks with no hook or curl can be deceiving and are almost always smaller than you think. It's taken me a lot of years to figure out what to look for, and several mistakes. Needless to say, when Randy invited us to come down and hunt his place with High Desert Ranch and Outfitting outside of Craig, Colorado, my father, good friend George Deeroff, Lance Groff, and Jeff Thorson and myself jumped at the opportunity. We've hunted antelope in Montana, Wyoming, and New Mexico, so I was really looking forward to adding Colorado to that list. So the first few days of this hunt we split up, and I went with Jeff and Lance to try to help them get their antelope first. I've always enjoyed filming as much as I enjoy hunting. I enjoy trying to compose those shots and put everything together, so I was happy to jump behind the camera and just make sure that those guys were able to take the bucks that they came down here for first. Dad and George went with RJ, and they went off to a different part of the ranch to hunt and see if they couldn't find bucks for themselves. The very first morning, almost right off the bat, we spotted a buck that Lance really liked the looks of, and he was able to get that buck on the ground and was just super happy. Made a great shot, good sneak, everything worked out just perfect.
Okay.
After that, we just kept hunting for Jeff, and he wanted to be particular. He came down here for a buck that he had in mind, and he wasn't going to settle for anything less. And so we looked through a lot of antelope with Jeff, covered a lot of country, and finally, he ended up finding the buck he wanted as well. Same thing, made a beautiful sneak right at dark the second day, and put this buck on the ground under the full moon, and this is everything just came together great.
We got another day.
So now with those guys' tags filled, it was my turn to go out there and see if I couldn't find the buck that I was here for, the buck that I had come to Colorado to find.
segment of Into High Country has been brought to you by Montana Canvas, hands down the finest wall tents ever made.
Alright guys, we just got into this basin right here that we've been hunting, and it's kind of a tough area to hunt in the fact that it's just a big bowl here, and the antelope like to sit right in the base of this. You can see, maybe you can, maybe you can't, but we have a herd working right here. I think we just cut them off to this water tank. Lance and Randy and the guys we're hunting with have been seeing a good buck coming to this tank, so, you know, even though it's big open country, you know, your tendency is to want to bounce through it real quick and look at everything, but sometimes picking one spot and sticking with it's the way to go. And I really like the looks of this setup. These guys have seen antelope here. I've seen an antelope buck drink out of this tank in the one day I've been here. And we're surrounded by them right now, so we don't want to take much time. But we're going to get the blind set up on the tank. That's cool. We should be able to see everything coming, backed right up against this junk pile. I really like the looks of this. What else does he say? He says all kinds of stuff I don't know. I think if the fox was here, he would set up right here. I like always having different options when I'm hunting. So now that the blind was set up and the antelope have time to get used to it, we could continue on to look over the country and look over as many different bucks as possible and try to see if we couldn't find that one we were after. Yeah, he's a smaller buck. Just past his ears following this one lone doe, but they are coming directly at us. I wish he was a little bit bigger because this is working out to be a perfect scenario. There, he's trying to follow her now. Nice little buck. Be good in a couple of years. It's not what I'm looking for here. Try to get a range on him here real quick. He's at 220 right now. Man, I wish he was bigger.
This segment of Into High Country has been brought to you by Montana Canvas, hands down the finest wall tents ever made.
Try to size him up here real quick. We got 4 does and a buck down here. He looks, first glance, he looks pretty. Oh, he's kind of got. He's weird. His one horn bends way in. You know, this is a perfect example. There's roads right around these antelope, and you know, if you're driving over there, you'd never see them. There's a little sunken pocket right here, and we just kicked them up. So that's why you just got to keep working the land, and eventually we're going to find one that looks good. When you hunt for antelope, you're really hunting for something that strikes you in particular. You know, with all of them sort of looking the same, you kind of pick one out, whether you're looking for width or big prongs or whatever it may be. You just find that one that really sticks out to you. And typically when you see it, just like anything else, you'll know it.
This segment of Into High Country has been brought to you by the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, ensuring the future of elk, wildlife, their habitat, and our hunting heritage.
Nice.
Started to move back down where they were at and spotted them again, feeding right in our face with the wind in our face, and we had the perfect little knoll to sneak over in between us. And we just, you know, Lance, Jeff, and I looked at each other and said, this is going to work. This is the perfect scenario we've been looking for. We made the sneak in there, peeked over, and they fed right into our lap. Ranged him 240 yards to begin with, and then he fed into about 200. And it was just perfect. I was leaned over my backpack, had a perfect rest. This is the first time I've shot this Proof Research rifle, and it's unbelievably smooth, quiet, just, I don't know, until you shoot one, it's hard to explain, but I was very impressed, and proof is in the pudding. This thing didn't even know what hit him, and I mean, the mass on this buck, you can see up through here. I mean, you can't even get your hands around the mass on this buck here. He's just massive. So last day in Colorado. This is my second time hunting with Randy and RJ out here, and we have a blast every time. I just can't say enough about these guys. They go above and beyond to make sure you're having a fun hunt, and everybody's getting into action, and that's exactly what's happened. It's just been the perfect hunt. The weather's been great. I can't say enough. I'm so pleased to put this buck in the truck and head back to Montana and start all over. It's just been, I can't say enough. So I'm gonna start quartering this thing out. I'm gonna cape him up to the back of the head here, and then I can take him to Bridger Canyon Taxidermy from there. But I'm just so pleased, you know, when a hunt comes together and you make a good shot, it's a good feeling as a hunter. It doesn't always happen that way, and I do believe everything happens for a reason, though, and this was a perfect example. When I look back on this hunt and go over what's most important to me, all of those boxes are checked. I got to spend time with my father and closest friends, hunting new country and exploring new areas. We were all successful in what we had come down here for, whether that be getting nice antelope bucks or spending time with one another, catching up and laughing on old times and new times ahead.
I spotted him from the barn. Right at the barn, I was looking up that draw. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's hard to spot up here. Yeah, because I don't see him. Pick them all at the same time. Then go up the bottom of the draw, that direction north. You keep looking up all them little draws that. We'll just come out with one there. Oh, yeah.
With every hunt we go on, there's a goal in mind. And usually in the end, we find out it isn't what we originally set out for. This episode is dedicated in loving memory of Marty Ziegler Sloan.